writing, I like most of my records to have emotion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to pull from either a past issue or something that I want to happen or something I think should happen, conversations, like just an emotion, so that way when the record comes, there's an emotion there. The hardest part then is having an artist that I'm writing for deliver that emotion. So most times I like to sit in with the artist that I'm working with and write the song based off of their emotion. If you write off of your own emotion and that artist hasn't gone through that, then it's hard for them to pull that feeling out of them and make it believable on a record. So I like to sit with artists and really, like, you know, get into who they are and then write the songs and then make the tracks so that the moods fit how they're feeling for whatever record that we're trying to make, you know. Well, my tracks, man, usually I just like, you know, whatever comes. You know, I don't go into the studio thinking, oh, I'm gonna make a club beat today, or oh, I'm gonna make a pop record, or I'm gonna make a hood record. Like, whatever, I just sit down and turn it on and go through sounds, or I may have a melody in mind or a drum pattern in mind, and just build, and just like Legos, just let it build and build and build and build until, you know, sometimes it's the track, I'll think the track is done, and once the artist gets on there vocally, there's still stuff needed for the track. Or there's been times when I had to take a lot off the track so that the artist can shine a little more with their melody or their flow and things like that. So, you know, just whatever, really, whatever comes, that's how I do it, whatever happens. Beat maker and producer. I think it's a fine line. I mean, I know a lot of great, you know, beat makers who I wouldn't consider producers because they haven't delivered on making the record. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people who make ill beats, but they just don't make great records, or they don't make good records. And it takes more than just a good beat or a good flow to make a record. You gotta, you know, understand all of that stuff. So I think a producer is a person who can, you know, mold the record. Like somebody like Diddy, or, you know what I'm saying, he may not have made the beat, he may not have wrote the song, but he knows how to put that record together, so he produces the song and it'll be a great record. But he never touched the, you know, might have never touched the piano, don't know how to use the MPC. Like, that's the difference between a producer and a beat maker. I might be considered a beat maker. You know, I'd like to say producer myself, but I have to, you know, my records have to be tested first, you know. But I know a lot of beat makers, I think the line is, there's beat makers who can make great beats, but they just can't make a good record. And then there's producers who make records, you know, and I think that's the line. It's always, I mean, I think it's always been that way. Even from the early days, those producers were making the records. They weren't just producing the beat, they were making the records, you know, and they hired engineers and they hired, you know, different piano players and drummers, and, you know, the drummer wasn't the producer, Quincy Jones was. Quincy might not have played the drums. You know what I'm saying? You know, bottom line, that's a debate that can go on for a while, but I think that there's beat makers, there's producers. And the difference, producers make records, beat makers make beats. Which one do you want to be? You know what I'm saying? Me, yeah, I like to use a lot of everything. Like, I sample, I use live drums. I've even went to the point where I've had like a live guitarist play on the track, but then I'll, you know, sample it out and then replay it in by, you know, tapping it in, and, you know, whatever it takes to get the record done, man. I don't really care how the sound comes about. However you get them, you know, I'm not opposed to anything. I've done beatboxing on records. I've done slapping boxes on records. I mean, everything, whatever it takes to get the sound done. You know, sampling, live instrumentation. Sometimes I'll have a sample, and I'll either play the sample over, or, you know, call a player over and let them play the sample over and change it up just a bit. Then take the sample back out, or leave the sample in. Just different things, man. Whatever it takes to get the record. Sometimes that live player just takes it to a whole nother level. You know, you might have a bass line with that live player played, and like, that's a crazy bass line. So yeah, man, live instruments, either play them, sample them, you know, samples from records, whatever it takes to get that sound out, man. Whatever sound I might be hearing. By now, make sounds, you know, and so I'm now tinkering with oscillators and, you know, frequencies and all the other stuff where I used to just maybe take a stock sound, add some reverb. Now I'm trying to build a synth so that it's crazier than, you know, I want people to hear my music and say, where'd that come from? You know what I'm saying? So just trying new sounds, new things, and like I said, I'll take a sound from anywhere. If it fits and it sounds good and it's working, then let's let it rock.